Okay, so the final section here in this chapter is the making general remarks about the memory hierarchy. And let's go to the whiteboard here. And so we have the CPU. Uh, Obviously, we have agreed it is interacting with the cache here, and the cache interacting with the main memory. Okay, um, main memory, and the main memory is interacting with the storage here, the hard disk. Um, Obviously, here there are this interaction here um, follows the same rules as the interaction here. So the set of policies are the same for these different levels. But uh, when we decide to take one policy versus the other one, you will see that the set of policies that are chosen here are different than the set of policies that are chosen here to optimize the performance. And this is what we will see in this section. Okay, so if we look at this, we will see at each level in this hierarchy there is this block replacement, finding a block, replacing replacement of the miss, and the right policy. This is where you will see they differ slightly. Um, in this in the case of block placement, we discussed direct map, in-way, set associative, and fully associative. Um, you can use any one for the cache, right? Preferably, obviously, the n-way, but for the memory, you have to have a high associativity, and we all have seen that higher associativity reduces miss rate on the expense of increased complexity and cost, obviously. Um, the virtual memory, we will go for full associativity, obviously. um, in the case of cache, the tag comparison, since for direct mapped, you will need to compare with one tag. For n-way, n tags. For the fully associative, the entire entries. But in case of the memory, we don't compare tags there. We'll do a full lookup table, and there is no tag comparisons in the case of the virtual memory. Okay, so the choice of replacement, we've said in case of the cache, you could use least recently used, random. If the associativity is not that high, you can choose this one, obviously. But as number of as the associativity level increases, then you have to keep the history of which has been used and which has not been used within the set, and that tend to increase the cost. A random is easier, has a reasonable replacement, so it is a good candidate. But for the virtual memory, no, we will use the least recently method, but to reduce complexity, we'll use least recently used approximation, with obviously the support of the hardware. Now, in terms of write policy, we said in case of the cache, we could do the write through and the write back. And let's remind ourselves what is the difference between the two. The write through, when the CPU write to the cache, so here's the cache of let's say there is a variable x here. The write through policy says you have to write this variable x, the value of x here, and the value in the memory. Okay, so you have to write to the cache and you have to write to the memory. That's the write through policy. Unfortunately, you will see the delay of the memory. So a better policy is the write back, which is basically the CPU in this case just writes to the cache. Okay, and then once this is the cache. Once this block is replaced in the main memory, if it is dirty, it will be copied all the way to the main memory. Now, So, but again, we have these two flavors for the cache. For the virtual memory, we cannot have write through. We must use the write back policy, because if we apply write through, if we write to the main memory and we write to the hard disk, that would be extremely slow and practically impossible to do. Um, Sources of the misses, obviously, for all the levels, compulsory misses. This is when you first access a block or a page. Capacity misses and conflict misses. They are there for all levels of memory hierarchy. Um, I'm gonna stop at this point, and this will be our last lecture in this chapter. And thank you very much.